Did you think World War III would begin with tanks? Think again, because right now, missiles are flying, satellites are watching, and nations are choosing sides, but most of the world isn't even paying attention. Behind the headlines, a silent war rages between Iran and Israel. It's not just politics. It's a battle of survival, ideology, revenge, and something far more dangerous. Nuclear ambition. And the most chilling part? The United States is fueling the fire, while pretending to be the firefighter. Let's uncover the truth you are never meant to see. Asterisk, you ever wonder why every time there's peace on the horizon, something explodes in the Middle East? It's not a coincidence. It's a chessboard, in Israel and Iran are playing a deadly endgame, while the rest of us are the pawns. Asterisk, this isn't just about borders or bombs. It goes back decades. Israel, ever since 1948, has tried to expand its control in the Middle East. Iran, ever since its Islamic Revolution in 1979, vowed to stand against Zionism. Palestine, the bleeding heart in the middle, has been crushed under occupation, bombings, and blockade. And while Israel claimed it was defending itself, the world watched entire Palestinian families buried under rubble. Hospitals, schools, mosques wiped out. Children pulled from ruins. Was that self-defense? Or something else? Asterisk, let's be honest, not the US says it's pushing for peace, but billions in military aid still flow into Israel's hands. Jets, bombs, and Iron Dome systems, all made in America. Behind closed doors, Washington backs Tel Aviv like a shadow twin. But in front of cameras, they act innocent, calling for both sides to show restraint while their weapons do the talking. Can you smell the hypocrisy? Asterisk, when Gaza burned in 2023 and again in 2024, people screamed across the Muslim world, "Where are our leaders?" And what did we get? Silence. Cowardice. Empty statements. Most Islamic nations folded like paper under pressure. Deals, dollars, diplomacy more important than the blood of their brothers. But not everyone stayed silent. Asterisk, Iran took the risk. It stood up, and it struck back directly. For the first time in decades, Iran launched drones and missiles straight at Israel. The message? You can't bomb our allies, assassinate our generals, and expect us to kneel. But Iran paid the price. Scientists assassinated. Nuclear sites mysteriously sabotaged. Sanctions crippling its economy. Over 400 lives lost in strikes and covert operations by Mossad. Still, Tehran didn't blink. It swore revenge again and again. And Israel? It lost key bases, suffered cyber attacks, and watched its so-called invincibility fade. This is no longer a Cold War. It's a slow-motion explosion. Asterisk, and what about Pakistan, the only Muslim country with nuclear power? The people roared. They marched. They demanded action. But the leadership? Trapped in IMF loans, political chaos, and diplomatic chains, Pakistan's official voice was quiet, too quiet. Yet behind the scenes, intelligence sharing and diplomatic alignments began to shift. Quietly, Pakistan began leaning toward an Islamic defense bloc, but it fears becoming the next target. Asterisk. Now let's talk global. Russia watches like a hawk. China calculates every move. They both despise U.S. hegemony, and they both know if Iran falls, they're next. That's why Russia supplies arms and training to Iranian proxies. China invests in Iran's economy, ensuring it doesn't collapse. Under sanctions. And both nations are now flirting with forming a new axis against U.S. and Israeli domination. It's a game of superpowers, and the fuse is lit. Asterisk. India, the silent opportunist. And then there's India. What is India doing? Trading with Israel, ignoring Gaza, blocking protests. India wants tech deals, weapons, and global recognition, so it chose silence over solidarity. And while Israel bombs Gaza, India signs defense contracts worth billions. So much for the world's largest democracy. Asterisk. This isn't just Israel versus Iran. This is a war of ideologies. A war of alliances. A war that could drag us all in. One wrong move and Lebanon joins. Syria gets pulled in. Turkey has to choose. Pakistan faces a red line. The U.S. sends troops. Russia retaliates. You think Ukraine was bad? This would make it look like a rehearsal. Asterisk. The shadow war is no longer in the shadows. And as the world scrolls through TikTok and debates Netflix shows, missiles are being loaded, alliances are being forged, and history is being rewritten. Question isn't if this explodes. The question is, will the world survive when it does?